So it's 9 a.m. and good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to our Learnifier Live customer webinar. This event is all about you, our customers. We want to keep you in the loop with the latest news and also give you a sneak peek into what's coming next. Learnifier is here to make your life easier and more enjoyable, and we can't wait to share our plans with you today. Let's start with some practicalities. This webinar is 45 minutes long. Feel free to write questions in the chat throughout the webinar as you think of them. Some of my colleagues at Learnifier will be in the chat to answer them in real time. We will also be recording this, so if you want to see something again or share with others, you will be able to do so. Before I hand over the word to my talented colleagues, let's start with having a quick look at the agenda for today. First, our CEO and co-founder, Mattias Borg, will give you a quick update on what's going on at Learnifier. After that, it's time to get an overview of the latest features in Learnifier together with our product manager, Mona Jönsson. After that, we will dive a little deeper into some of these functions presented by some members of our product and engineering teams. The first thing we're going to look at is moderated events together with Piotr, and then Philip will show us the new catalog filters. After that, we will head back to Mona for a glimpse of what's coming up ahead, and Mattias will also talk a little bit about Learnifier content, and we will also have Martin, who will present our brand new Learnifier services. So let's get this show on the road, as they say. Over to you, Mattias.
Thank you, Esther, and good morning to all of you. We at Learnifier, we are on a mission to really make training easy, engaging, and efficient. So in everything we do, we strive to make it 10 times easier, 10 times more engaging, 10 times more efficient to achieve your business outcomes, whatever they might be. So this mission is also fully reflected in our product strategy. So in each pulse, as we call it, which is each quarter, we try to make at least one major improvement to one of these, so making it more easy, engaging, and efficient. So that's something that we're continuously working on. It's kind of a northern star or direction that we're heading in with the product. So always connecting it back to that. But I'm also excited to share that we're not only going to continue at the current pace to develop the product, we're actually looking to double the size of our product and engineering team during this year, and we will actually continue next year as well. So really looking forward to and super excited to have more capacity to bring more value to you and also do even more innovation in the product. So really looking forward to that and excited to share that with you here today. As you might have noticed in the product, we do releases daily, sometimes multiple times a day. And that is done by our product and engineering team. And you might see it being a smaller change. You might not even notice it many times. But what we also do is that we try to make major releases once every quarter. And that is really to help both, to be honest, us internally to communicate better on new releases, to make sure that we have support materials, that we're all trained in the new functionality that is coming out, but also most importantly, to make it easier for you to plan on your end, to know when things are coming and how to stay up to date on what's coming. So today we will hear what we've been working on during the summer 2023 pulse. And obviously we're here today at the live event on August 31st. We'll also do later in this session today a bit about what we'll work on during the fall pulse. And as Mona has mentioned, we'll come back with a date on the next live event later on. So without further ado, I want to hand it over to the product and engineering team to share what they've been working on during the summer pulse. So over to our product manager in Mona with a true Southern accent. So over to you, Mona.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks for that introduction, Mattias. Yes, I do have a Southern twang to my English as American. It's a story for another live, I believe. Let's dive into our things that are new. So we have had some big things coming out that we already released. We have some things that will be coming out shortly, and we're going to take a look at the biggest ones. Of course, we're always continuing to address bugs and minor things and minor deliveries within our pulses, but these will be the big things that you can expect to see in the product. So the product team has the product development team is working hard in this pulse, and although there's been some vacations, there's some really great deliverables coming. Our new course completion criteria has been rolled out already. So that is something you might have noticed or you might not have noticed, depending on how your courses are built and the components you have in them. The moderated event, as we'll look at shortly, will be part of our next release. So that should be within days, to be honest with you. I think we're rounded out testing for that, so that is ready to get out the door. And then lastly, we're going to take a look at the new filter functionality for the catalog, mainly giving learners an opportunity to filter, but also giving admins some control over what should be displayed as filter. We'll dive into that more to come. So on that note, let's dive into these functions. We'll kick it off with the new course completion criteria. I'll just briefly go through this because this is not really something you can interact with in the product. It's just there all the time. So that's really cool. And it's mainly a technical change, basically to how a course counts as completed in Learnifier. So this impacts current and new courses, but not courses that have already been completed. I think that's important to take with you. Previously, just by definition, a course in Learnifier was completed if all modules in the course were completed. And we tweaked that a little bit for several reasons. But the new one is such as the course is completed if all modules are completed and completed past in a course, which changes it a little bit as we're going to kind of segment into our next function, our moderated event. So the moderated event is something we have built because previously participants were automatically marked as completed when an event passed. And that didn't always give admins the chance to ensure that participants met the expected standards or the outcomes of the event. So with the moderated event, participants can now be evaluated with a passed or not passed status, which together with the new course criteria can then affect a participant's progress in a course. So again, you as an admin now have a way to evaluate kind of if there's something important in an event that a learner should actually prove that they know. You can now set passed or not passed depending on how that learner performs. And based on that, not passed, the participant's overall status would be updated for the course. So for instance, if you have an event and I'm in it and I didn't quite pass the test I was giving in the event, then you would put not passed, and I would be sitting in progress until that status is resolved by admin. So you can come back and remedy with me. We can kind of go over what I'm missing and ensure that I actually learn what I should be learning in there. This gives a good feedback loop for admins. So kind of letting them know where they need to help their learners. And it both for learner and admins gets a very clear and consistent evaluation process. And the moderated event will be available for all our price plans. And I think enough hypotheticals, let's dive into seeing what it actually looks like. We have our back-end developer, Piotr, who's been working on this function, who will show you exactly what I've been talking about. So over to you, Piotr.
Thank you, Mana. Hello, I'm Piotr. I'm going to show you how the moderated events works. So I've created a test project with 2 participants. And in that test project, we have 3 activities, and in each activity, we have an event. The first one is the one that you know, that gets automatically completed after the end date passes. And the latter 2 are the new type of events that needs to be moderated by an admin to get them completed. So I will show you how to do it in the course builder. As you can see, we have these 3 activities, and to create a moderated event, you need to choose moderated events from the list here, and that's the only difference in the course builder. So what that means, all of these events that I created have already passed, started and passed yesterday. And as you can see, my participants are in progress. And that's because we have this automatically completed event defined there. And when I go to the learner view of my participant, you can see that the first activity that is automatically completed is already completed because the end date is passed, and these moderated event activities needs to be evaluated by an admin. And to do that, an admin can go to the Events tab, and here he can choose a participant and change his or her status. So we have 3 things that can be set up: invitations, attendance, and result. And the thing that affects completion is actually a result. So an admin needs to choose either if it's passed or failed. So let's say that this activity has failed. You can see that it's failed, and on the learner view, this activity is marked red, and the status is that this activity is completed but not passed. This can be changed anytime. So when we decide that actually this participant has passed, we can change it back, and this is reflected on the learner side. The second activity is still is awaiting evaluation, and this affects also the cross completion. So all the events needs to be evaluated and passed to be able to complete the course now. I think that would be it for moderated events. So back to you, Mona.
Great demo. Thanks, Piotr. I think that's pretty exciting. And I think the moderated event together with the new course criteria will be a valuable tool for admins and learners in completing courses and meeting the standards required for each of the courses. Then let's move on over to our third item on the list, and that is our new catalog filters. Due to the work that we've done for the new catalog and the admin catalog tool, which we released, I think, in the previous 2 pulses, there is no filter function in place for the learner catalog because we had to adjust some of the data values. So we know that being able to browse and find courses that are relevant to each learner's specific choice and need is a really important function to have. So we are now wrapping up a new function around catalog filters for learners. So based on what we're delivering here, we will improve the learner experience by giving more relevant filter values for them to choose from, such as start and end date of a course and so forth. It will be more efficient to search for courses. And instead of seeing this whole page of courses and collections, learners can now make their decisions a lot easier about what they want to take when they want to take it by using this filter option. For admins, we're also giving them the ability to choose which filter values should be displayed in the catalog for the learners so that they can kind of push certain filters and remove some others. So kind of guide their learners and fit the catalog search and filter function so that it works where their company preference is better. giving a more custom and more relevant, again, search or filter experience for learners. And the new filter function will be available for all customers that have the catalog feature. So that will be rolled out again within the next 2 weeks. We are currently wrapping that up. But this is a really cool feature to show, and I'm going to pass it up to someone who's going to do this really excellently, one of our product designers, Filip, who's been working hard at this feature. So over to you, Filip.
Yes, thanks, Mona. Great. So yeah, my name is Philip. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to show you how to set this new filtering function up as an admin, and then the effect that it has for a learner. So you can go to any project, basically, and the things that we recycled, basically, is like the words here. This part can be used to filter, and the same goes for language. And then we've added 4 new fields here, dates. So here you can enter like a date. Yeah, I want it to be starting from this date, and yeah, that looks okay, and just submit it. And then you can then also decide to add like a course end date if you want, but you can keep it open as well. And then we have this new thing called format. So like, what type of course format does it have? Is it online? Is it hybrid? Is it classroom? Yeah, you can pick and choose there. And this duration thing is that you can sort of help learners give an estimated time of like how long it takes to sort of, take this course. So yeah. And then for the last thing here, we have a free text field at the moment. It's like a location. So for example, you could write, so I'm in Uppsala. So you can write that, and you can write anything. And this will then be presented as a filter for learners if you decide to activate this filter. So yeah, you can go through all your projects and basically set it up so that it matches for each project. And then if you then, as an admin, go to the catalog builder, we've added a new little button over here. And here you have like a sort of final control, like which filters do I want to publish outwards to the learner-facing catalog. So in this scenario, I might take like format, date, and duration, allocation, and maybe I don't want to show a warn language. That's up to you. So you can customize it as you want. I click save. If I just move this away. Here we can see this part's still under development, so but it's on its way. And this is how it could look like for the learner. And I can then, as a learner, then filter, and I can see here that the admin previously has published the format, date, and duration, as well as the location filter. So if I now then hypothetically select different filters in each section, I, as a learner, can now say, okay, I want a course that is either classroom, hybrid, or online. I wanted a course that starts from 9 o'clock, I think it's today, and a duration between 21 hours, 208 and 280 hours. And the course could be either in London and Seoul. So those combinations could then, in this case, generate 2 results. So if I then click view, voila, this combination of filters has generated these 2 results. So yeah, we're basically giving you the possibility to sort of customize like which courses should have which filters. So yeah, that is everything for me. Back to you, Mona.
Great, thank you very much, Filip. That was excellent. So yeah, this will be released within the next 2 weeks. And I think that's super exciting and will bring a lot of value to your learners, but also admins to give you some control over the filter options. Then, as Matthias mentioned previously, we do work in pulses for our bigger features, and we're now closing out our summer pulse and picking up work for our fall pulse. And that has yet to have a delivery date, but we do know it will be in November. And of course, we'll communicate closer to that event so you have a heads up of kind of when you need to attend the next live event. So on that note, let's pivot and take a look at what the team will focus on in the next polls, which will be our fall polls. We have a few items that are super cool. The main focus will be on content integration for our Learnifier content. And if you haven't heard what this is, Matthias is going to give you some bits of insights of what that is. But just leading into that, Learnifier content is where if you have a subscription in place, we offer pre-made courses that cover a range of topics within our platform. So we're working on kind of merging those two together in a good way. We also are delivering a report that you can pull based on a specific quiz or survey. So if there is a quiz or a survey that you're using in several projects within the client, you should be able to pull this report and see the results of that one quiz that is shared in between all these projects. So that's, I think it's exciting. Learner selected event is a third piece we're looking at, and we're actually in the middle of doing some user testing for this. So this is where we're allowing learners to select what event they would like to participate in out of a few choices available. So giving them an option to choose, which then will give them some personalization, and also being able to kind of interact with the UI and say, this is the event I want to participate in, and so forth. So that is something that is underway. And the fourth one is more of a heads up. It will not be necessarily delivered in the next pulse, but it's something we're starting to take in and doing some initial discovery on, and that is our next gen learner UI. I just wanted to talk about that because we get really excited with this part. And this is where we're kind of refreshing and lifting and improving the whole learner experience there. And we're about to kick off some user feedback sessions for this as well with learners. So that's a really cool point in itself. But there's some really exciting things coming for this one. We're right now trying to figure out, we have a plan, we have some mocks. We're trying to figure out how we break down this work and attack it in the most efficient way so that we can deliver it soon to you guys. But we do want to make sure we do this the right way. But this is something that you will see coming in the next pulses, maybe in a different stage, until we're saying we're ready to release it. So super exciting stuff. And I think that kind of rounds out our fall pulse deliverables. And I'm going to pass it over to you, Matthias, to dive into Learnifier content.
Matthias, I think you're muted,
Yes.
so let's unmute.
That's better, maybe. Thank you, Esther.
Yes.
Yes, let's see that. Thank you, Mona. Let's dive into Learnifier content. And let's see what we have, because we've heard, obviously, many of you produce your own content, and I think content is obviously a key piece in getting value out of the Learnifier product. But we also heard from many of you that you have some needs for more off-the-shelf content. So we launched this big strategic initiative, which we call Learnifier content. Obviously, this will be continuing working on how you can produce better content on your own. We're also looking into the future where potentially you can share content with each other. But the first step in this strategic initiative is launching a partnership with a company that is called Diploma. And Diploma is the #1 online learning content provider in Sweden. And with them, with this partnership, we're going to be able to launch 500 courses available directly in Learnifier. So super excited about this first step, but I also want to say this is the first step on something that we see as strategic important step into the future. One important thing with this is, as I said, a key piece of the Learnifier product is making it really easy and efficient for you to produce your own content. And we've also been really specific in partnering with Diploma that it's important that these courses can be customized. So these are not SCORM courses, which some of you might know of, that are imported. It's actual courses that are natively living within Learnifier. And I'll talk a bit more about what that brings to you. So these 500 courses are all today in Swedish. Obviously, we'll look into that in the future if you have needs for the other languages. They are by default self-paced and completely digital. They mostly contain videos and quizzes. And it's available for you that are on a professional or on our enterprise plan. And you obviously might ask yourself, so what type of courses do you have in here? So there's many interesting topics, given that it's 500 courses. I'm not going to go into exact details, but if you want to check more in detail, please reach out and we'll guide you and help you and see how these 500 courses, if any of them can help meet your specific gaps and needs. So these are some of the popular topics that are very generic, I would say, such as leadership, service, sales and marketing, etc. So a number of courses within these topics. Then there's also a few industry specific topics, such as health and social care, elderly care, etc. Saying it once again, if you're looking for specific courses, either ask now or reach out and we can help you in more detail. So as I mentioned before, one important thing with this partnership is that we always want to bring the courses natively into Learnifier. And then you might ask yourself, well, why is that important? Well, there's a number of things. One is by doing so, we can also now give space for social learning. So even though it might by default be a self-paced online learning, you can now set this up as an online social learning course. We have multiple participants in a cohort going through this at the same time, and thereby sharing the learnings, either online in discussions forums or in other forums. Another important thing is also that you can make adjustments. And this means that you might want to add a video. It might be an introductory video. It might be someone from the leadership team. It might be sitting context. For example, if you're going to talk about sales, you might want to do an intro video that talks about your perspective on sales and where this fits in a broader initiative. So that's also something that you can do. Obviously include evaluations, surveys, tests, etc. that you might want to add specifically. It's also possible to add communication. So, there's a lot of functionality in Learnifier around sending automatic communications to participants, encouraging them, reminding them, etc. That is also fully possible. So, for example, if someone has passed a quiz, you might want to send an encouraging SMS or something like that to say, good work. And that works completely as it would in any other Learnifier course. And then it's also possible to flip the classroom, which means you can turn it into hybrid learning. So we looked at moderated events. It might be that you want to use this online course as more of a pre-work into a classroom session or a virtual session. Is really up to you. But it offers a lot of flexibility in how this content can be used to fit your specific needs. So I wanted to cover this because I think this is really important to get the true value out of this content. And it also really aligns what value we believe that Learnifier can bring to you as a platform. So also want to cover how this can be purchased. So there's an all access pass where you get access to all 500 courses. So for example, if you want to have free access for 100 people, this is an price example that will give you a bit of a hum what this means. I think seeing this price, you need to reflect on the alternative, which is training in classroom or whatever it might be. So I think you need to see this through the lens of a training budget. And obviously, if you want help to kind of talk about that perspective, we'll gladly do so. There is also another option for purchasing this, and that is on a per course basis, where you buy access to one or more courses. The same, you see this as a price example. We've also mentioned this, it's cheaper if you buy through us than directly from Diploma, but obviously that's hopefully one of the values that you'll get buying it from us. So talking a bit about the time plan, we are obviously talking about this today. We're now open to review and talk about your training needs. Start planning in October, and then on October 31st, that's the latest date where you can have access to your content and in your Learnifier platform. And then obviously you can start your initiative early November. So let's see if this is something that you'll be interested in start talking about now. And obviously you can reach out and talk about it. And we can then plan for a rollout in November. With this said, I said Diploma is the first partnership. I said it's all in Swedish. It's a lot, of course, it's a lot of content and it's got both breadth and depth in it. However, I still want to encourage you, if you feel that this is not exactly what I'm looking for, I would prefer something in English, for example, I would really appreciate it if you reach out, because this is just the start of it. So we want to have, even though this does not fit your need, please, if it's just an email or anything, please just share your needs. And we will try to build out a plan that better covers that need. And if you're one of those customers that actually have some content that you might want to share for free or for not free, so to speak, also please reach out to us so that we can start a discussion on how that can happen in the future. So that was it for Learnifier content, and more specifically our partnership with Diploma. As you've seen, we're going for a launch date of October 31st, but please reach out already today and we can get this rolling. So with that said, I will hand it over to Martin, who will talk a bit more about services. So over to you, Martin.
Thank you, Matthias. Nice news. And here comes more news. My name is Martin Johansson, and I'm working like a business developer at Learnifier. And today we have some great news. We are offering extra special services to make your experience even better. So why services? Learnifier is known to be easy to use and modern. It's a place where you can create and manage and share learning experience in a very simple way. But sometimes you might need some extra help, and that's where experts come in. You can change yes. So no matter where you are on your digital journey, whatever you need feedback for your courses or some specialized guidance to reach your goals, we have something special to you. So, bada bump, let me introduce Matilda Hector. Matilda Hector is our new team member. She has a lot of experience in digital learning and also knowledge, and have a background in transport and security. With her background, Matilda can create specialized learning paths and perfectly fit your company needs. So what can Matilda help you with? Yeah, she can help you to train new administrators and course builders, and also can help you with the project management, and also with advanced feature training, how to learn Learnifier's advanced tools better, and communication and personalization. So I think this is also the next step for Learnifier to help you, because we hear that you sometimes want some extra help. So we really believe that this help and these services can help you to take your digital learning the next step. So if you are interested in this kind of services, take contact with my colleagues and also me, and this was everything for me. So getting back to you, Esther, and thanks so much.
Thank you, Martin. Great news and super exciting with the Learnifier services. So we're actually ahead of time, and we would like to thank all of you for joining us today, and hope that you leave this session very inspired with a few tips and tricks up your sleeve. We will also be sending out this recording afterwards. Feel free to share with your colleagues or have another look at it. And please also reach out to our support and customer success team if you have any questions about anything or what we have gone through today. So now, as we always say here at Learnifier, thank you, and may the learning be with you.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.